Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey at the JX Fight Club in Shanghai, China. I'm going to address a question that I've received quite a bit more recently from one of our subscribers, and I apologize, I don't have your letter in front of me, so I can't remember your name, but it spoke to me. It was a letter about knee injuries. This guy, he's been training for a long time. He has a lot of experience in jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and other martial arts, but he ended up tearing his ACL and he's on the path to recovery. He's able to get up and walk and all that stuff right now, but he's really worried about going into training again, and he wants to know, should I just focus on training my upper body right now, or should I attempt to rehab the leg and make that stronger? And the answer is yes. Yes, you should train the upper body, and yes, you should make the lower body stronger as well. If you have knee injuries, especially if you have knee injuries, it's really important to strengthen your legs, especially your quadriceps, okay, because that will help to stabilize the knees. Now, if you've had a catastrophic knee injury, such as an ACL tear, and you've had that surgically reconstructed, that's no simple task, because putting weight, putting pressure on that thing, most of the conventional strength training exercises for the legs, well, you're going to have to heavily modify those or bring the weight down to next to nothing, especially when you start out and take baby steps on the way up. But I'm going to show you an unconventional leg exercise that really doesn't seem like a leg exercise at first to strengthen your quadriceps. And as a result, it's going to make you stronger pretty much everywhere. The LSit, basic calisthenics movement. When I first started attempting to learn this, I thought, well, that's a core exercise, that's an arm exercise, that's about triceps. And yes, all of those muscles do engage, but what shocked me was how much it involves the quadriceps and how much it develops strength in the quadriceps without putting any pressure at all on the knees. So if you are rehabbing right now, or especially at the beginning phases, you might want to try this out. Again, any exercise that will strengthen your legs without impacting or putting stress on your knees, that's what you want to focus on right now.
Here's how to do the LSit. Put your hands even with your quadriceps, not your butt. Push up, lift yourself a few inches off the floor, hold it for as long as you can, and if you need help, if you can't get off the floor, try some yoga blocks. Do the same thing here. Don't worry, I'll show you more modifications. Try sitting on the edge of something like a boxing ring or a table or a chair and do some leg extensions, because often the trouble is just getting those feet to go straight, because again, this is very much a leg exercise. Try yoga blocks and sitting on the edge of a surface like a box or a chair or a table. And here's a fun variation. Open and close the legs while you hold the LSit if you need more intensity. This is a tough exercise. And again, I can't stress enough how much the quadriceps are engaged in this exercise. Yes, it uses the core, yes, it uses the triceps, but your quadriceps will burn without any extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Stress on the knees. Now, if you can't get the feet up, just practice lifting the hips up. Do that for repetitions, hip up, until eventually you develop the strength to start lifting the feet up. You can start lifting the feet up one at a time like this, and do as many repetitions as you can each day, maybe even several times a day. And repeat as necessary, hips up, feet up, one at a time. Practice holding that one at a time. Here are some additional core strengthening exercises. So if the core strength is what's holding you back from the LSit, you can do sitting leg extensions like this, and also tucks like this. Pull the knees in quickly as you sit up, and then slowly lower yourself down, flexing the abdominals on the way down. Or V-sits, jackknives like this, quick on the way up, and slow on the way down. Atlas sit-ups, same principle, quick on the way up, slow on the way down. Excellent core strengthening exercise. Also a great dynamic stretch for the posterior chain And this exercise, whatever it's called, lifting the legs up over the head. Again, a dynamic stretch as well as a core strengthening exercise. And once again, there's what the LSit looks like.
Another thing you might want to think about is water exercise, such as moving around in a pool. I had a roommate years ago. He used to be a boxer, but over time when he stopped boxing, he kind of let himself go and he put on a lot of weight. Ended up weighing a lot. Talking about like obesity. And when I moved in with him, he said, "Hey, you do MMA? Hey, I used to box. Let's do some light sparring. Just light." So we put on the gloves and we were moving around the living room, just pawing at each other, real light, real friendly. And he shifted his weight back, and because he weighed so much, his knee buckled under him. It couldn't physically support his weight anymore. And so he ended up tearing his ACL, and man, I felt terrible about that. I felt absolutely terrible about that, and I apologize so profusely. But about a year later, I ended up moving, ended up getting married, so new roommate. And I went back to visit my old roommate, and he had lost a lot of weight, like a ton of weight. And the guy looked really good. And I said, "Wow, that's amazing. You lost a lot of weight. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that knee injury." And he said, "No. Thank you. You saved my life." I was like, "What are you talking about? I broke your knee, dude." And he said, "No. That was the kick in the pants that I needed to get fit again." So what he ended up doing for rehab, again, since he couldn't really put any weight on his knee and couldn't really do any strength training exercises, not conventionally, he went to the public pool, and all he did was walked up and down in the pool, because in the water there's no weight on you, or very little weight. And so he could do that. The water, it buoys you up, it lifts you up. And so he would walk up and down in the pool and then gradually take baby steps toward doing more strenuous exercise until eventually he was able to lose a ton of weight and become physically fit again. So yeah, exercises in the water, swimming, things like that. If you can do that, if you have a pool near you, that's an excellent option. So try out the LSit. And again, I know it's not one of those conventional leg exercises. It's not a squat, it's not a lunge, it's not an expensive machine. And that's a great thing, because you don't need any equipment. You can do this quite literally anywhere where there is a stable surface. So I've included some modifications in this video that might help you out. So try it out, see what you think. Good luck in your recovery, my friend. Baby steps along the way. One other thing, as far as the upper body goes, and this is very important, I think, the reason I say yes, train the upper body to rehab the lower body. Here's why. When you are physically active, your injuries will heal faster. When we get blood circulating through the body, it will carry nutrients to the damaged areas more efficiently. I had a coach years ago, a guy named Shane Brenner, awesome guy, and he ended up tearing his ACL in a fight. And it was horrible, catastrophic injury. And he was bummed about that for a while, but the type of guy he was, man, he always saw the silver lining in things. So a couple days later, he called me over and he said, "Hey, help me hang up my pull-up rack on the doorway here, and help me set up like a rope so he could climb out of bed and get to the pull-up thing." I'm like, "Dude, you just tore your ACL, you just had surgery." He's like, I know, but I know my legs don't work right now, but my arms do. So I'm gonna do what I can do." And so helped him rig up this system where it's just like a rope leading up to the pull-up bar on his doorway next to the bed. And so he'd climb out of bed, get up to the pull-up thing, do as many pull-ups as he could stand, get back into bed, and rest, and then do it again when he felt like he had the strength to do it. And he did so many pull-ups while he was recovering from knee surgery. When he went back for a checkup at the 6-month mark, the doctor essentially said, "I've never seen anything like this before. You have recovered at an unprecedented rate. What have you been doing?" And he said, "Well, pull-ups, staying as active as I can." And I mean, it sounds kind of like a no-brainer, like, yeah, get the blood moving, get more nutrients to the damaged area, and it'll heal faster. But this has not always been common knowledge. I've had a number of surgeries, abdominal surgeries on my guts, and the first couple of times I went into the hospital, the recovery method prescribed by the doctors was basically lie down in bed for a couple of months, and that was it. And the last time I went in, it was different. After a couple of days of lying down, they got me up out of bed right away, which I hated because it was extremely painful, but they got me up and walking and moving around. And it sucked, but I recovered faster. And when I forced myself to move to the extent that I could move, not to aggravate the injury or to aggravate the area of the surgery, obviously, but to move in the capacity that I could, I recovered significantly faster. So if all you can do right now is upper body training, do that, because that will help your lower body to recover too, in an indirect but, well, direct way. All right, good luck to you, my friend. Speedy recovery. Get out there and train.